I picked this up last year, and it was $10 or something, and I kind of wasn't really sure what to do with this tree. You know, and I made this unique pot with a cloth over a ball, and I was kind of thinking, you know, maybe what I'll do is I'll stick this in here and bring a bunch of the branches down. Now this variety, I think, you know, when you look at these grow straight up and really tight, and the branches go straight up. It's kind of a hedge bush. It's you know, cultivated that way to be a hedge tree of some sort. And so, you know, originally I was thinking, well, if I bend these branches down, they're not going to like that. I imagine the tree is really designed. It's probably really apical dominant, because you look at these hedges, often the lower parts have died off, whether that's the genetics or if it's just the lack of sunlight. I'm not totally sure. So what I'm going to try to do is bend these branches sort of down, but you can see they really don't want to come down much at all. They you know, I'm really wary of breaking, so I'm probably going to have a tree that comes up and the branches kind of come up and then down and out. So it'll be a little different, but I'm going to try to clear out a bunch in here so you can kind of see the backdrop of the pot, and then maybe gin the top. So I've had a total change of heart. You know, I just couldn't get this image out of my mind, and so I really wanted to kind of capture it. And I knew with the other design, you know, it's just kind of simple and straightforward. And like I said, these branches probably don't want to grow down. It's a really grows straight up. So what I've been thinking, and this is a container I made just with a pinch method, really simple, nice and big. But what I'm thinking is angle it like this, and kind of make some deadwood at the top, and kind of make it look like a tree that's sort of fallen over, and put some rocks here and a little bit of sand, and I got some nice little blue rocks I'm going to try to put in here and kind of make it look like a tree that's sort of fallen over a river of some sort, or a lake, and then these shoots I'll kind of pull up to try to grow forward. So you know, like I said, I just have this design in my mind, and it's really not traditional. And I knew that if I just didn't create it, it would stay with me. So you know, and it's a little more of a daring design. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it goes. So I've loosened it up quite a bit. It was extremely root bound. I mean, as you can see here, it's just very root bound. So I've loosened it up too much. I didn't want to do too much damage to the roots, because I am going to trim it up a lot. Now this is pretty hardy species. So you know, I think it will be okay, but I am going to do a lot of trimming on it, so we'll just have to see how it goes. So I've got some dirt here. I've used a perlite, peat, and a little bit of pumice in there. Now I've went a little bit more on the a little less on the perlite than I normally do. Perlite's kind of the cheap option, but this one's going to have to stay wet. It's going to get dry a lot. So I'm just going to tease out some of these roots and find a spot here. Now I kind of feel like I've kind of tried to pick where I feel like there's the most tops. I'm a little bit wary of this little bulge, but they almost all have little bulges right where the branch comes out. So I'm not sure, and I kind of like some funky movement in it. I don't want it to just be straight, and it kind of does. The whole branch gets thinner that way. So so I think this is the way that I'm gonna kind of pot it up. So it's not there. It's probably angle. So I've got it secured in. Got lots of dirt in there. The next part I want to do is I want to kind of moss it in. Now what I've tried to do is not make this just a little mound. I've tried to kind of make this even denser. So I'm gonna actually even put a little bit more here on both sides, just so it has like a flatter top. And again, like I said, I'm using pretty kind of dense soil, so a lot of organic matter in there, just to kind of help hold it. I'm going to even add a little bit more in the back there. So it's going to be pretty steep banks, but I think that'll help give the illusion a bit. You know, I'm going to want this to look like water, so I want a little less steep bank here. we're going to add a lot of dirt. Yeah. A little bit more here. Just so it doesn't look so much like a mound. Now the top of the roots are pretty much right there. Give it a little bit more water. I'll water it quite a bit. I've been watering it periodically for those roots, but yeah. And so I kind of want to let and I might. Wow, that might be fun to have a little path that comes all the way up. Yeah, we'll have to see about that at some point. Okay, and so what I've done is I've got quite a collection of different types of moss. I'm just going to start layering this moss in here. Now, normally I would kind of break it all up. How do I want to do that? But I do want to keep it pretty big because of the Stellar's Jays here, and they'll just peck it right off. So I got to kind of try to find that balance because it looks a bit like a carpet or something like that if you have it too, one big clump. Like if I just put one big clump, these big clumps on there, and I'm really noticing I'm going to add a lot of space onto that. I think it'll be okay. So I'm actually going to start breaking this up and sort of placing this in here. I kind of like, now see some of these are going to have to be I've got little different types of moss, so I am going to intersperse it with little different bits. Give it some character and flavor. As you can see here, it's got different. We've got these little guys here and these guys here. So there's 3 different types of moss in here, which is really nice. I like giving it. It really adds sort of a different feel to it. It makes it look like it's little bushes and stuff like that. So I actually really like the mixed up moss. I've turned this backlight off. I think you'll probably be able to see it better. So my next phase is I'm going to start clipping off some of these branches. So it's going under the river. These branches would all die off. So I kind of want to start back here. I haven't totally decided. I might pull some of these up, and this I kind of want to come up here. But these small ones here, can just start trimming off. And I'm not going to want to turn a branch up like this. It's possible I could do one, but anything that's right on the bottom, just going to trim right off. I also want to kind of see some of this. I want to open this up a little bit. Even though there's lots of kind of small branches here, that one might stay. This I'm going to try to open up. I'm just trimming up on everything underneath here. Cleaning it out. Get some cleaner lines. Can I bend one of those? It's possible. I don't. This one, no. I also want to create a lot of space down below here. I want to draw the eye in here. It's gonna, there's going to be a tendency to get the eye here or this empty space, depending on how I have it designed, especially if there's something dark. Like if I put dark rocks, the eye might draw there, but I think the rocks actually turn a little lighter blue. So I'm hoping the eye will kind of get drawn into this heavy zone here, and then you'll kind of be able to see. So I really want to kind of see this bank here. So I'm pretty sure this is going to go. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave quite a bit on the back side, and I'm going to do that just to give the tree some strength. I'm going to come up. Come up. See, I don't want them evenly spaced, so I'm thinking, although two little ones there. No, they're going to come off. Go up. So I'm gonna try to leave some, and there could be like a hanging branch back there. I see, I really like this spot open. If it's just gonna cover that, and I really want to see that. I want the eye to be drawn in here, so it looks like there's this sort of zone in here. So if anything, I probably will, just to keep the vigor of the tree. Now, up at the end here, I'm going to gin this whole top section. Let's see, right from here. Oh, now that I look at it, I kind of like it. It looks like a tree going sideways. These are going to be this. Okay, yeah, this is all going to be ginned here. So it's really coming along. So I've wired it up. I kind of wanted to show you this piece, and then I'll start sticking in some rocks and pieces. So as you can see, I've sharied up this, which is looking really nice. It's kind of exactly what I wanted. And trees often, when they fall over, they tend to kind of grow up and then die off. So that does have a little bit of a natural look. And I mean, these are nice little bits. Hopefully they stay. They're pretty small, but they should. So when I'm looking at this design, like I said, I kept these two. I really want the eye to be drawn in here, so you might not be able to see it entirely. So I'm going to move this around, and I want to kind of, I probably will take this off, and some of the back stuff will take off, but for now I'm just leaving it to keep the vigor of the tree up. Now I'm not sure about this. I didn't like it. I kind of tested it before on an angle. Get it right at the base there. Coming up. This one I'm going to bend in and around. They're quite flexible. Quite flexible. Mostly just bending that out of the way. A few more I may actually need to wire. This should come up nice. Okay. Now, it's kind of cut out some dead wood there, but I almost want to break this, kind of come down, just kind of break up the line a little bit. I think it comes forward a bit, yeah. This one I'm thinking, I think I want to really bend this one a lot. It's quite, once you get away from that base, it actually bends quite a bit. That actually looks a little bit strange, doesn't it? Yeah. Sometimes you might get something like this. I almost wanted some dimensionality to it a bit. See what this looks like back this way. Yeah, you don't really typically want to bend them up. This kind of creates a little bit of a pad here, although yeah, that might even be better. And we'll get that down like that. Let me just see. Yeah, I actually like that better. Well, you're having some trouble getting up. Let's see, do I have any of you guys wired? No, I don't have any of the backings wired. They all need to go a little angled, a little more angled. That so there's a little bit of flow and direction. Looks a bit strange. Just a bit. There we go. This is just, that one's just a bit straight. There. You know, so it's starting to come. What am I noticing? Yeah. You know, I mean, the other option is, right, I can trim some of these down. And that might even look a lot nicer. Lower. It's almost, this one's too big too. They almost need to be a little smaller. Just, it looks too big there. So I think I'll trim that right there. Let's just see. Wire out of there. More like the top there, yep. It's looking good. I wonder if this. About that here. Yeah, so one of these I'm gonna have to wire up. I'm gonna wire up one of these. That'll even that little one, eh? Yeah, I'm gonna wire both those. Like that. Yeah, so I'll get a little bit more wire and come back to you. So I've shortened these quite a bit, wired these two up. You know, and so again, like I said, I want the eye to, probably that's a better angle for you, the eye to be drawn in here. So now, so I've got this one rock back here. You know what, I think I need, I almost want it to kind of come in, like how does the shoreline go? Do it like that. I don't want it too uniform. It's because I want the eye in there. If I block this off too much, I open this up. So I could have it kind of opened. Maybe that might be a little more dirt back there. Just get some more dirt. You know, kind of have it coming in Maybe a little bit like that. Yeah, I think that might actually be the way to go. Yeah, I think I might need more dirt there. Have it come out, kind of come out like this. This is kind of an inlet here. Have that. So I was taking you through my process a bit, but what happened is the camera died. So I'll continue on from here. You know, what I've noticed is that as I put the sand in, these have sort of come down a bit. So I'm gonna prop these up a little more. That one's in there nice, but I almost wonder if another sort of bigger one right here just in there or what. Yeah, it's almost too big. I want to kind of draw the eye back. Maybe sometimes, there we go, break it. There we go. So here's the end result. Didn't quite have enough rocks, so I'm still going to collect some more blue rocks, but you know, it's a tree leaning over a river. And I grew up on the Slocan River and around it, and so this sort of captures that. It's a tree sort of falling over the river and bits are growing up. You can see I've put in some bigger rocks here, and then a couple, you know, big rocks, medium-sized rocks, and then sand to sort of give a transition. Now, as I've been watering it, it sort of leaks in, the sand starting to go in there, and so, you know, we'll see how over time that effect can happen. But I'm really happy with it. I think, you know, trying to capture something, an image you have from nature, is the way to go. You know, this is from my childhood. This brings me right back to on the river. You know, I thought about putting a little rope, and you could have like a little rope swing into the water, but it just didn't quite look right. You know, I may try to get a little something for scale. Not entirely sure, like a little bench maybe, or some chairs or something. I also thought about some driftwood of some sorts, but we'll see how that goes. As you can see, I carved this out. So this is all dead wood up here. And you can see I've wired different sections. I tried to be very minimal on the wire. So some of them are actually wired together without a loop around, but for wiring like this, I don't think it's going to matter as much. And then, you know, in the end, I will probably pull off some of these back branches just to give it a little more spaciousness, like maybe up in here, because it just kind of looks like a mass of you know, foliage, or yeah, foliage on top, and I kind of want it to look a little more sparse. So take you right in. I'm in the camera. I'm in this light. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. I have tons of fun making them, and it means all the difference if people like them and share and subscribe and comment. Thanks again.